Hey everybody, Peter here. Last fall, I dissolved one of my biggest money blocks and generated more than $67,000 of new business faster than I ever thought possible. You want to know how I did it and how you can do it too? Well, stay tuned because I'm going to show you. In this video, you're going to find out why you have money blocks and the simple steps that you can take to dissolve those blocks. And stay with me to the end of the video because I'm going to give you a free gift that'll help you get started on dissolving your money blocks and generating your own amazing results faster than you ever thought possible. It all started at the beginning of 2020. My business was doing well, and I was just about to sign a lucrative contract with a travel industry company. In fact, it was a cruise ship related company to be specific. Well, just as we were about to ink that deal, the pandemic hit, and I got the unfortunate news that we would not be able to go through with the contract. It was going to be put on indefinite hold. Well, I reacted the way you might have guessed. I panicked, I got anxious, I got depressed, I got worried, I got dejected, and I threw my hands up and said, "Why me?" And just for a second, not for very long thankfully, I started to wonder if maybe I was insane to think that I could run my own business and keep that revenue going successfully. Thankfully, though, I had the presence of mind very quickly to ask myself a really important question. And that question was, Peter, do you believe what you teach? And the answer immediately was yes. So I sat myself down and I said, you know what to do. There are 3 things that you need to do that will allow you to generate whatever amount of money, revenue, income that you want to generate. And so here were those 3 things I set about doing. Number 1, I had to set a very clear money goal. Number 2, I had to understand and remind myself how the human mind works, mine, yours, and all of our minds, to create whatever reality we experience. And number 3, I had to sit down and deliberately use controlled imagination to bring into being that money goal in real life, flesh and blood reality. And that's what I set out to do. And so here's the breakdown of how I did it specifically. Number 1, I set a clear financial goal. I decided I wanted to earn at least $60,000 in 6 months in the middle of the pandemic. Number 2, I reminded myself of how my conscious mind, my subconscious mind, and my body work together to get whatever results it is that I am getting. So how did I go about doing that? I used the stick person, which was created by a chiropractor named Thurman Fleet in 1934. If you've never heard of the stick person, I'm going to tell you about it now. I think you're going to find it's really brilliant, and understanding it and applying it's really going to help you accelerate your financial results. So I realized that my mind really has 2 parts to it. There's the conscious part of my mind, and there's the subconscious part of my mind. But all of the actions that I take on a regular basis that get me my results, good, bad, or indifferent, don't come from my conscious mind. They actually come from my subconscious mind. All right, so how do those ideas and those habits get into my subconscious mind? Well, here's how. Spaced repetition over time of whatever I allow into my conscious mind. And in our conscious minds, we take things in with our 5 senses: hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, touching. We listen to the news and our relatives and our peers, and this has been going on since we were born. We take all of this stuff in and we tend to do it indiscriminately. We're not being selective about what's coming in, and we take in a lot of thoughts and ideas that don't support whatever it is that we want to achieve financially. Well, over time, doing that over and over and over again, our subconscious minds get programmed with the idea that money's hard to get, I can't earn that much, it's hard, hardly anybody else does it, etc., etc., etc. That puts us in a vibrational state that's aligned with the lack of the money that we want. And then all of the actions that we take, taking the actions or avoiding taking the actions, all get us a result that's aligned with that subconscious conditioning that says, I can't have money. So I realized that what I needed to do was to only allow into my head consciously ideas that are aligned with me hitting that financial target. I could reject any other idea that didn't support that. And in fact, when ideas came up and thoughts came up that didn't support it, I literally said, no, stop. And sometimes I went, shoot, go away. And I replaced those ideas deliberately with thoughts that said, you can do this. So many people have done that and more. Look at the success you've had in the past. If you did it before, you could do it again, etc. Well, I did that over and over and over and over for a few weeks, and my subconscious mind just soaked that in. So what happened next? I found myself getting inspired to money-making ideas that weren't occurring to me before. I found myself attracting people that offered me contracts. I had one that came right out of the blue and literally in an afternoon fell into my lap. So in a 4.5-week period, I was able to completely turn around all of my subconscious programming around earning that sum of money. The third thing I did that was really important was I used controlled imagination. So what do I mean by that? Well, imagination, if it's not controlled, tends to be weak and scattered and all over the place. But controlled imagination is like a magnifying glass in the sun, where instead of all of the sunlight dispersed all over the place in a rather weak fashion, we're focusing that sunlight into a thin beam. You could set a leaf on fire with that. You may have done that when you were a child playing with a magnifying glass. And so I used controlled imagination to imagine myself hitting that financial goal. What would I be doing if I hit that financial goal? How would I feel? What would people be saying to me? Who would be congratulating me and shaking my hand? Sounds silly, but it really is essential. And I allowed my imagination deliberately to focus on what that would be like as if it were real now. And by doing that, I didn't think of the goal, which is more of a daydream. I'm looking at it out in the future and thinking of it, maybe one day. I thought from the goal, meaning I immersed myself in it as if it were really happening now. The combination of those three actions got me amazing results. And in 4.5 weeks, I was able to go from 0 in revenue to generating more than $67,000 worth of new business in that short period of time. And if I did it, so can you. Thanks for being with me in this video, everyone. It's been my pleasure, and I hope that you found it enjoyable and useful as well. Feel free to share it with whoever you think might benefit from it. And I'm also thrilled to announce that I've got more openings available for my one-on-one consultations. So what do we do in those consultations? Well, number one, we get you really clear on your financial goal or whatever big goal you have. Number two, we look at anything that might be blocking you, particularly your subconscious blocks that you probably aren't even aware of. And finally, number three, we map out a strategy for you to start clearing those blocks and getting right to that goal faster than you ever thought possible. The calls are fun, they're free, and they're all about you. So book yours now. You'll find the booking link in the video description, and you'll see it right here on the screen in front of you as well. And as always, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.